MPRF12345 says oh you alyas, if your PC can't handle it, then maybe it's not good for you to be doing the sheep farm, sad face. K-Dender says we should get buckets. Papa Sent Wafel says I'll get them. MPRF12345 says THX. Your Act 1 on says there is a shulker of iron blocks. MPRF12345 says with an iron block near it, so you know which it is. MPRF12345 says Ida. So much lava. Ajveh says Papa don't go on obsidian when I'm mining it. Ajveh says if you die it's your fault. Papa Sent Wafel says okay sorry. MPRF12345 says L0L. MPRF12345 says L0L. Kdender says TFXD. WDIX says what was that? WDIX says LOL. MPRF12345 says L0L. Ajveh says this. Ajveh says. Kdender says epic. WDIX says diamonds. WDIX says mom get the camera. OU alias says LMAO. Kdender says F. WDIX says Kdender is a man of culture. Kdender says mine XD. Papa Sentwafel says Oman. Your Act 1 on says O. OU alias says F. MPRF12345 says F. WDIX says F. Your Act 1 on says RIP. Mavri says F. MPRF12345 says should we mine redstone Oswell? Cause SOME1 today said we were low on it. Your Act 1 on says NOP. OU alias says which farm? MPRF12345 says IT. Your Act 1 on says we have a witch farm XD. Your Act 1 on says quad witch XD. Your Act 1 on says tell me when ready. Mavri says is anyone in Nether? OU alias says yes sorry. Papa Sentwafel says yes. Mavri says, can you leave for a minute? I need to repair my tools. WDIX says go? Oualias says 1 moment sure. MPRF12345 says you can use the Ice Farm's XP farm. Ajveh says yep. Kdender says oh I also need to repair Elytra lol. Mavri says oh true. WDIX says me too. Papa Centwafel says you should use the Ice Farm XP farm, the nether isn't everywhere mob proofed. Slipsy says what's the chords for sheep farm? Slipsy says WTF. Slipsy says OMG. MPRF12345 says okay, go for me. Slipsy says I went through the sheep portal and I started falling in void, wasn't sure if it was lag. MPRF12345 says 0_0. MPRF12345 says was it? Slipsy says no. Slipsy says I nearly FK and died. MPRF12345 says we should do a bigger platform there. Slipsy says I started spamming rockets in case it wasn't. Random_blank says yo, guys. How can I help? Your Act 1 on says done? Slipsy says with what? MPRF12345 says come to SeaWorld and help cleaning the trench. Slipsy says have we started building the World Eater? Your Act 1 on says ready? MPRF12345 says doing the second trench. Your Act 1 on says running. Kdender says I just collected 2 stacks of carpet on the return piston bolt. Kdender says I think it popped of. MPRF12345 says me too some time ago today. WDIX says it pops off when the bolt is running but the chunks aren't loaded. WDIX says someone must have started without jumping into a cart. Slipsy says so when some PP gets out mine cart. Slipsy says when it's going. WDIX says excatly. MPRF12345 says oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Might have been me today then. I'll be more cautious next times. Papa Centwafel says I went on it last I think, but I didn't start a minecart without me jumping in it think. Papa Centwafel says NVM then. K Dender says why are there tons of shulker boxes on the glass bridge of the ice farm? Slipsy says. WDIX says. Ajveh says we were optimizing the farm. Ajveh says and I don't think it's done yet. K Dender says brew. Slipsy says this one fucked up trench. MPRF12345 says ZZZZZ. Your Act 1 on says what? MPRF12345 says NVM. Slipsy says someone needs to make a world eater that makes its own trenches. MPRF12345 says L0L. K Dender says 2NOS quarry. WDIX says full auto ocean floor remover. WDIX says full auto ocean floor remover 4000. Your Act 1 on says LOL. Your Act 1 on says need to stop it. Slipsy says use buckets to remove lava. Slipsy says it's a lot faster. MPRF12345 says no need to remove lava below y equals 5 right? Ajveh says yup. MPRF12345 says it. Your Act 1 on says Slip, do you know how to build the world eater? Slipsy says if we don't have a schematic. Ajveh says why not just make one? Slipsy says IMA just use the one I already have. MPRF12345 says one schematic. MPRF12345 says OK. MPRF12345 says NVM. Slipsy says the one I have is like 700 long. Slipsy says from last time. Slipsy says but IMA just build it from that. Your Act 1 on says it how to do it. Your Act 1 on says so is up to you guys XD. Slipsy says should only take a few hours. MPRF 12345 says country roads. Slipsy says everyone doing these types of perms. Slipsy says with like the shape of the pixel arts. Slipsy says we gonna build the farms at same time as the pixel art? Your Act 1 on says id. Slipsy says I feel like mining this would have been better than tunting it. MPRF12345 says L0LY. Slipsy says walls messy. Ajveh says it doesn't matter. Ajveh says it will be gone. Papa Sentwafel says WR have to mine to shark either way. Slipsy says not the whole thing. Slipsy says I mean the trenches. Your Act 1 on says we gonna dig the area outside the box. Ajveh says would take too much time. Slipsy says the trenches. MPRF12345 says took 2 weeks to mine the ice farm's perimeter by hand. I doubt it'll take so much W/the TNT. Slipsy says the trenches. Your Act 1 on says they are done slip LOL. MPRF12345 says oh coke. K Dender says Sredi. MPRF12345 says will we be running the duper once more? Your Act 1 on says NOP. MPRF12345 says OK. Your Act 1 on says the floor is done. MPRF12345 says yay. Your Act 1 on says let's clean the wall XD. MPRF12345 says can I build a haste 2 beacon down here? L0L. Your Act 1 on says yup. MPRF12345 says I'll put it in the center. Slipsy says who is comfortable with finding the chords for World Eater, smiley face. Oualias says we don't need to clear lava below bedrock level. Your Act 1 on says it XD. Ajveh says O/. Your Act 1 on says hey. Oualias says Elver. WDIX says Ola. MPRF 12345 says Ola. Oualias says I just killed a turtle. Mavri says O/. MPRF 12345 says F. Oualias says pushed it in a trench. Elvarel Jarn says hey. WDIX says lemme help AJ. WDIX says O. WDIX says NVM. Your Act 1 on says nice. MPRF12345 says I think it's done tbh. Your Act 1 on says yup. MPRF12345 says do I destroy the beacon already? Or do I let it be for a while more? Your Act 1 on says NOP. Your Act 1 on says let's destroy. WDIX says who yes. WDIX says guys. MPRF12345 says okay. WDIX says I need help. Your Act 1 on says? MPRF12345 says what WDIX? WDIX says 6778 12114. WDIX says PLS help. Ajveh says XD. MPRF12345 says goin. Slipsy says? WDIX says PLS. Ajveh says control. Ajveh says mate. Slipsy says where? WDIX says yay. WDIX says the real MVP. WDIX says hee hee. Slipsy says XD. Oualias says GTG for now. MPRF12345 says bye. Slipsy says ITCYA. Elvarel Jarn says yay. WDIX says what now? Your Act 1 on says it TBH. MPRF12345 says build World Eater. Your Act 1 on says yes but. Papa Centwafel says Elver come here. Your Act 1 on says we don't have one. Your Act 1 on says XD. MPRF12345 says you just disappear right in front of me. Your Act 1 on. WDIX says Kobe. WDIX says Rib. MPRF12345 says, tongue sticking out. Papa Centwafel says I can't breed these turtles. WDIX says is that your cousin? Papa Centwafel says the weird looking one doesn't want to eat the grass, uneasy face. Elvarel Jarn says WDYM, it's my brother. Papa Sent Wafel says since when doesn't MC allow incest? WDIX says isn't that animal cruelty BTW? MPRF 12345 says no. WDIX says there. MPRF 12345 says done. Elvarel Jarn says you guys keep doing the trenches. Elvarel Jarn says I am going to stay here. MPRF 12345 says L000000000000000000L. Papa Sent Wafel says we need plastic straws. Elvarel Jarn says no. WDIX says hold up. MPRF 12345 says I've got lava. Seems similar. WDIX says what is this? Elvarel Jarn says EO Potion. Papa Sent Wafel says my class when we dissect a turtle. Elvarel Jarn says he ate food. WDIX says I. MPRF 12345 says L0L. Elvarel Jarn says don't look. Papa Sent Wafel says oh no. WDIX says guys. Elvarel Jarn says I am feeding him sea grass. WDIX says arrow roulette. Elvarel Jarn says he is food shy. WDIX says arrow roulette. MPRF 12345 says not near the turtles. WDIX haha. Elvarel Jarn says he broke th egg. Elvarel Jarn says no. WDIX says arrow roulette. MPRF 12345 says F. WDIX says arrow roulette. 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 WDIX says join me. Elvarel Jarn says I think he's pregnant. WDIX says loser gets punched. Papa Sent Wafel says we need to kill him. Elvarel Jarn says no. Papa Centwafel says he's lagging the server. Papa Centwafel says look MSPT. MPRF12345 says one turtle. Papa Centwafel says yes. Papa Centwafel says it's very bad. MPRF12345 says L00000000000000000000L. Papa Centwafel says I killed 4 Dolphin at this point. Elvarel Jarn says fancy. Random_blank says doing unspeakable things with that turtle. MPRF12345 says 0_0. Elvarel Jarn says no. Ajveha says ban ban ban. Elvarel Jarn says this is a war. MPRF12345 says this escalated pretty quickly. Slipsy says what happened? Elvarel Jarn says a war. K Dender says sevens. K Dender says F. Your Act 1 on says Elver. Your Act 1 on says what's next? Elvarel Jarn says World Eater. WDIX says ANY1 half schem. Elvarel Jarn says S on dis. Papa Centwafel says lure him in the hole. WDIX says but wasn't it too long? MPRF12345 says isn't it modular? MPRF12345 says can't we just use that one and don't build it totally? WDIX says idk. MPRF12345 says how do I use the Ice Farms XP farm guys? Papa Centwafel says take a snowball and throw it against the piggy. MPRF12345 says but where should I stand? Inside the door? Elvarel Jarn says go on dis. K Dender says why is main storage locked? Papa Centwafel says where you should mine ice. MPRF12345 says OK THX. Papa Centwafel says on a pressure plate. MPRF12345 says got it. WDIX says are we doing north or south first? Papa Centwafel says Kurtz. Elvarel Jarn says hey. WDIX says sup. MPRF12345 says hi. Kdender says oh slash. Jodika says hey. Alu the creator says hi. Your Act 1 on says hey. Elvarel Jarn says BRB. Your Act 1 on says so what we gonna do XD. Alu the creator says. MPRF12345 says Imago for now. MPRF12345 says GL. MPRF12345 says CEA. Your Act 1 on says CYA. Your Act 1 on says about the World Eater Alu.